Hello, adventurers. My name is Tyler.
And I'm Richard.
On today's episode, we'll be diving back into the D&D PHB UA5, finishing off now with the mages. Welcome to True Strike.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to True Strike. I have my tasty beverage at hand. We've made sure Tyler's drink is far away from him right now because a few sessions ago he unarmed striked it to yeet it across the room.
That was the same episode that was lost to time.
Oh, how convenient that we lose the one episode where you like falcon punch your coffee across the room.
Look, man, it's not... Is it a coincidence that recording was the one that, went away mysteriously?
Oh, it is, sure is a coincidence. I don't know. Well, anyway, his drink is now on the other side of the table, so it's nice and far enough away to where I feel safe.
Yeah, well,
to talk about mages.
For all I know, you mage-handed that drink right off the table before.
I mean, it's possible, but I don't think that was one of the spells that got a revision. So,
okay.
Yeah.
But some spells that did get a slight boopity-boopity. Chaos Bolt, for example, off the top here. It's been moved from Xanathar's Guide straight to the new 2024 PHB. And your Sorcerers are just going to get it as a bonus spell. You're not going to have to take that spell. You're just going to have it.
Yep.
It's kind of similar with Eldritch Blast. Now, Warlocks, you just get it. It's a bonus spell. And something neat, but also going to... some of these multi-classes. The Warlock, it scales with your level. So Warlock level is how you increase your Eldritch Blast. Also for you Warlocks, you're going to get Hex as a bonus spell as well. But now it only deals its extra damage once per turn.
Overall, these are really good changes. I think that Warlocks getting Eldritch Blast that scales and, Hex.
Eldritch Blast.
This is all positive things.
Yeah.
All really good stuff.
The Warlock's getting EB just straight up without having to actually take that as one of their known spells. Yeah. Just, I can't think of anything that would make more sense. This is kind of like the fighter being able to swing a sword.
Yeah, this is natural progression for Warlocks, so that's good. Which we'll touch on that when we get to Warlocks, but for now we are going to jump right in. Now there are 11 new spells, which we're not going to go over each and every single new spell.
Read the playlist.
We're actually going to go through each of the classes. So we're going to go through Sorcerer first. And when the new spells come up, we're going to talk about them kind of as they come up, because there are going to be some ones that are pertinent that appear for like specific levels for these different classes that we're going to talk about. So that's how we're going to talk about them. If you want to read all the individual spells, go read the playtest and read them, because there are some really cool things in here. And also some of them are just different in the ways that they react and interact with things. So worth a look.
Right. Now, one big thing, I don't know if we've gone through this or not. For those of you that are like, where are you guys getting this stuff, right? What you're going to do, you're going to go to dndbeyond.com. Right up there on the front page, you can see things is ONE DND Playtest. You're going to click that bad thing. Now, start playing. Now, start playtesting. You can click that one. I know it's a lot of clicking. Bear with me. At the top, you're going to see the newest one. It'll have a nice little new tag next to it. You're also seeing a lot of the other playtests that we've discussed so far, the different UAs. We're looking at the PHB Playtest 5. You click that. Inside of there, there's going to be a video, some overview stuff, and you're at the bottom. You're going to see a download PDF. You're going to click that thing, and bam! You've got all 50 pages of this new playtest.
Yes. And we're going to continue to beat the dead horse that is read these playtests and then do the surveys when they release them.
If you can, play using the playtest material. Actually try it out. Don't just like, I like the way this sounds. If you actually, put the pen to the paper and you roll the dice at the table and your friends and you actually experience it together. But not everyone's going to be able to do that. So, worst case scenario, at least, give it a good thought. Think it over. Mull it over with some buddies. And then fill out the survey. But if you can, heck yeah, play the game.
Yeah, discuss it with your friends. Listen to a podcast like True Strike where we talk about it. And then adopt our opinions, because they're really good.
Well, their opinions.
I think my opinions are excellent.
That tracks. All right, but I've heard you got some opinions on, what do they call it, the Sorcerer?
Yeah, so sorcerers, they get some new changes, so we're going to talk about that. First thing up is innate sorcery, which actually you kind of touched on, which was Chaos Bolt. Sorcerers just get it now. So first level, we have innate sorcery, which gives you Chaos Bolt, but it also gives you Sorcerer's Burst, which is another new spell.
Now, one big thing is these are sorcery-only spells.
Yes, yeah, so these are only for sorcerers.
Which I like.
Yeah, which is really, really cool.
More identity for a class, the better.
Yep. So now Sorcerer's Burst, really quick, is a 1d6, and you roll that. If you get a 6 on that roll, right, you get to roll an additional d6, which is really cool. So basically, you roll high on that, you keep rolling. And it scales with your level. So if you roll another 6, you get to roll it again. And you keep doing that up to the amount of your current spellcasting modifier. So it is really cool. It seems like a weak spell at first. But if you keep rolling 6s, it's just Vegas, baby. You just keep going. Just keep letting it ride. And you just keep doing more damage. So it's a cool little spell. And then, of course, we have Chaos Bolt, which we mentioned before, which is the other sorcerer only, which is 2d8 plus 1d6 damage. And then you get to choose one of those d8s that you rolled, and that d8 is the damage type. So you basically, out of the 2 d8s, you choose one of them, and that will dictate the damage type for the spell. And additionally, if you get a double d8, you can allow that spell to chain to another creature within 30 feet, which is just really, really cool. So you have these 2 brand new sorcerer spells that you're getting at first level that both have this luck chance tied to it. Like, do you roll a 6 and keep damage going? Do you roll double 8s and now chain it to the next goblin down the line? Which I think is just really fun way to approach sorcerers, and also kind of show off that I guess the thing that they're leaning into with sorcerers being erratic and unpredictable.
Yeah.
So that's what this is. They're really leaning into that, like, sorcerer's magic is powerful, but you don't really know what it's going to do, which I love.
Right. And, as with most spells, you're going to be, rolling more dice out the jump depending on your level, stuff like that. But this is neat. Another thing with Sorcerer's Burst, back to that really quick, is you choose the damage type. Every time you cast the spell, it's going to be acid, cold, fire, lightning, poison, psychic, or thunder. I love it.
So many choices.
Yeah. All the choices.
All the choices.
Well, most of the choices. I don't see force. Now, another thing, buffing up sorcerers, you're getting more spells now. So previously, with the current edition, the 2014 PHB, you're looking at, about 15 spells. Now you're going to be getting 22.
Yeah,
and that's not including
cool.
That's not including the ones you just get as your bonus spells.
Yeah, so it's just giving you that whole feel of, like, really having more spells. Like, you have that more stuff at your disposal.
You playing as a mage or any magic user like that, really, that your whole focus is magic. Why limit the amount of spells you get? I understand, the identity of the wizard is that they just know every spell ever made. Sometimes it feels like that. But it doesn't mean to limit the other ones in ways. Just, buff the wizard in other ways. I don't know. It's just always felt weird to me that you would only have 15.
Yeah. No, this is a welcome change. Because, like you said, it doesn't feel as restricted anymore. Even though it's not a huge jump. I mean, we're talking, 7 spell slots.
Yeah. Which is almost another 50%.
That's
I said, that's not including your bonuses.
Yeah, that's true. It doesn't include
bonus spells
those,
at different levels.
Yeah.
You're getting literally 50% or more total spells by the end of this. That's big.
The next change that we have is for second level Font of Magic. So this is you using your sorcery points. So basically they just have changed Font of Magic to have level prerequisites for creating each spell slot, which just kind of, I guess you could say, restricts sorcerer points a little bit. But I think it was kind of necessary for the required sorcerer points for the higher level spells. So essentially now, if you wanted to create a 5th level spell slot, you have to expend 7 sorcery points. So essentially it's just stopping you from rolling out the big guns incredibly consistently at low sorcery point turnover. So just kind of reining them in just a little bit as far as like the larger spell slots are considered.
Okay. Now it's looking like meta magic's also moving from 3rd to 2nd, which is interesting. And they're also giving you 3 meta magic options at that level now instead of the 2 you were originally getting. Get a 3 more, 13th, etc. And at long rest you can switch a meta magic option, which is neat.
Yeah. So more changes at long rest, which is good. 5th level, we get Sorcerer's Vitality, which is another one of the new spells. Once you hit 5th level, you'll always have it prepared. It's a 2d6 plus spell casting modifier, and it removes blind, deaf, and poison.
That is super cool. And I love the idea that, because you've got these spellcasters that have magic innately flowing from inside their tum-tums, and you think between the weave and everything, you'd be a pretty vitality heavy character, right? But no, they've traditionally been as squishy as everybody else. So having this ability where now you can, if nothing else, remove some conditions and stuff from this magic just exploding from your being. I like it.
Yeah, no, it's good. I like it a lot.
Arcane Eruption is the next one. It's a 7th level feature. It's a new ability right here. You're always going to have this one. It is a 20-foot radius, and if they fail it, they're taking 6d6 damage, half on a pass, and you get to choose the damage type, and then you choose an additional effect. Richard, tell me more about these effects.
So after you do that, you choose one of those d6s, and the number rolled on that die determines the condition that's applied to each creature that failed the save. So you can get everything from 1 through 6. So it's incapacitated, blinded, frightened, poisoned, charmed, or deafened.
All come in handy.
Yeah, no, it's great considering it's also just an extra effect.
Yeah, and we're leaning more into the randomness of the Sorcerer.
Yeah, that's again, like, you said, leaning way more into this. We don't know what this magic is doing because it's so unpredictable from our tum-tums.
God, man. And I'm the most biased thing I can say, and this shows what kind of player I am. I would never play a Sorcerer. Because it was already like, okay, as long as I don't play a wild magic Sorcerer, I'm fine. Now I'm not safe no matter what. It's the wild wheel of randomness no matter what subclass I choose from the Sorcerer.
I love it.
And I know most people do, and that's what's crazy about this is I completely understand and respect the fact that a lot of people are going to look at all these changes and be like, even more wacky chaos?
Yeah.
Yes. Bring
I love
it
the
on,
wacky
please.
chaos. Yeah, it's great.
I need to know what's going to happen when I do an ability. Not, man, I really need to deafen this guy right now. I hope it happens. But I respect it.
The next thing that we get is level 9 Sorcery Incarnate. So basically what this is you regain 1d4 sorcery points plus advantage on attack rolls for your spells, or you can use 2 meta magic options for a spell that you cast.
That's awesome.
So you get 2 different options there,
That's
which is really cool.
super cool. I love this ability so much. Just being able to choose 2 options. Oh, God, it's so cool. And at only level 9, this is something that's going to come up and play. This isn't one of those 14th, 17th level abilities that you're like, oh, I can't wait to get there, and your game ends at level 11 or 10. But like 9?
Yeah, no, this is a spell that you're
probably going to get this
that
for
you're
most
gonna
modules
use.
at
Yeah.
least, let alone home games. Like
Yeah.
homebrew.
It's definitely a spell that you're going to use, yeah.
Sorcerer's Restoration has moved from 20 all the way down to 15. Now this seems like a thing across the board, taking these 20th level abilities, bringing them down, and then usually doing some changes. This is, restoring some sorcery points when you roll initiative, which is great because it means you're always going to start combats with some sorcery points.
That means you're always going to go into combat with sorcery points, which is really good.
And you also get them whenever you finish a short rest.
Arcane Apotheosis is a new level 18th feature that gives you Wish Always Prepared,
which is wild,
which is crazy good. And it's also going to change the way that Wish actually operates. And I think Wish is going to probably see more play now because of this, because now it's just not this big Hail Mary one and done kind of a situation. First of all, you can't lose the ability to cast it if you undergo the casting stress. Second is you can also use it to cast a spell of level 1 through 8, expending the appropriate level spell slot instead of the 9th level once per long rest. So essentially now you can use Wish to cast a spell that you already know that's in the 1 to 8th range. So it's a really cool way of approaching Wish now instead of it just being a, that one and done thing that you don't use anymore.
It definitely screams to me like you're not going to be using Wish, and I'm completely wrong. People are going to play this completely differently. I see this as dipping into spells you wouldn't normally have. Now, I'm going into this, and I'm going to cast my Wish, and instead of actually using the 9th level spell slot, I'm going to use the lower level slot and cast Mass Healing Word, maybe
something like that.
Holy crap, that's huge!
Yeah,
you're the like embodiment of chaos, and you could spit out any spell level 1 through 8 in just expelling the spell slot of chosen, and then you still have your 9th level spell to use for something else. This is crazy.
Yeah. Now you can only do it once per long rest.
Oh, sure.
But still very cool usage.
The clutch uses for this. It could be anything. You're like, oh man, we have to get up this wall. Everyone else is up it. All right, I'm going to burn it on spider climb. You know what I mean? You could use it for anything.
Man, I wish I could climb like a spider.
I wish I could turn all of us into gaseous forms and fly across the country really quick as clouds. Oh, wait. We can.
Yeah.
Boop. You've got the entire like spell list of everything just in your back pocket once a day. But you can do it.
Yeah.
God, that's cool.
Yeah.
Now, sorry to do this, but just to crunch down for time, we're not going to be going over the subclasses much today. This is where we say these are super meaty playtests, so if you're interested in them, at least the way they are so far in the test, make sure to check out the PDF and check it out yourself.
So yeah, moving on to Warlocks, medium armor is now included in the class's armor training.
Great.
Yeah,
good move.
It's a good move. Makes them a little bit more hardy.
Yeah, it definitely seems like Warlock is out of the primary spellcasters. Warlock's the one that's going to be up in the fray more than the other two. So at least give him the medium armor. That's good change.
Give him the medium armor. And then we had also already touched on the Eldritch Blast and Hex. So Pact Boon has moved from 3rd level to 1st level, which gives you your Eldritch Blast and your Hex. And it also gives you a spell of your choice from a group of 3, all of which are now exclusive to Warlocks. So these are Warlock only. The spell you choose is connected to the spellcasting ability choice you then make. The spells incorporate the previous functionality of the 3 packed options that you had at level 3 before. So
now, one huge thing, and I think the biggest thing we're going to touch on in Warlocks period, is their packed magic feature is just been replaced by spellcasting now. So just like other mages and arcane users, you're just using spell slots now.
Yep. And you're actually getting a lot more spell slots because of it.
Right. So now instead of, you get your 2 slots a day, but don't worry, it's always cast at the highest level and you'll get them back on short rest. Now you get them back on long rest. But you're going to have a ton more spell slots. You're going to cast them at the level you cast them at. And you're not just a cantrip machine now. You'll actually be able to mix and match.
Yeah, you're going to be able to mix and match and do stuff because now you're running with 15 spell slots instead of just the normal
2 to 3, like
max of 4. So yeah, you're definitely sliding into the spell casting thing. So Warlocks are definitely in the mage category now.
Woo! And this was the most requested change to Warlocks. So it's great. Good move. Yay, Watsy, you did it.
Yep. Eldritch Invocations gained another cap, so they cap out at 9 instead of 8 now. So not a huge change there, but it's worth mentioning.
Now, Mystic Arcanum has become an Eldritch Invocation option, It's available at 5th level. Before, you had to wait to level 11 to get it.
Yeah, so much, much sooner, which is, again, something we're seeing across the board. We're seeing a massive drop in some of these more powerful things down to more accessible levels. So we're getting stuff earlier, maybe feeling a little bit more of the power earlier on.
Sometimes the slight changes kind of balance for the level, but they just... 5e has a weird thing. I'm going to go off on a mini rant. Where WotC... And to their credit, I understand they have to. There's so many really cool abilities that players don't get until high level. Now, most people's games don't go to high level necessarily.
Yeah.
So there's all these cool abilities you get to look at in the distance that you'll never actually really get. On the flip side of that, sometimes when you get to these higher levels, the cool abilities are so far apart from each other that it feels like all the classes are front-loaded. What do we do? Now, it seems like I think their solution is they're taking some of these cooler abilities, they're sliding them earlier, and then they're making new cool abilities for the higher levels so that it's just denser. From 1 to 20, you're just getting new abilities more often.
Yes.
And I think that's their solution.
Yeah, and I think that also includes the addition to epic boons, which we have kind of glossed over on every single one of these classes when we go over it.
Everyone gets it.
Because everyone gets them.
Right.
But now we're getting these more powerful abilities more mid-range, and when we get to that high level epic game level of 20 and everything like that, everybody starts selecting these epic boons and epic feats, and you start to really get some insanely powerful stuff that's not necessarily so class specific focused. You get a lot of extra abilities.
You're all choosing the one you want as well, so you actually get to fine-tune your character for the way you want to build them.
Your play style and your build. So
you can just keep getting them. So after level 20, you stay 20, but so much experience points, or whenever your DM decides to throw you a bone if you're playing Milestone, you can just keep getting epic boons.
Yep. But like I said, as kind of a way to see that this is happening, we get a lot of this, which is, higher level features being pushed down to more accessible levels. So we get to use them a little bit earlier. And like I said, feel a little bit more of that power mid to late game.
Speaking of feeling the power, level 11. Richard, do you ever want to call your dad?
Oh yeah. Call your dad. Just call him.
Just call him.
Check in.
At least once a day.
Yeah.
And him actually pick up. Well, you can do that now. You can contact Patron as an 11th level feature, and they gotta pick up the phone.
Yeah, this is really, really cool. So basically at level 11, you have contact other plane, just always prepared. So this is, Warlock's call daddy. So if you get in trouble, call your dad. Let him know what's going on. Maybe he can give you a hand, or maybe it'll end very poorly for you. But I mean, hey, you got the option now. The next thing that we have is Hex Master at level 18, which is really cool. So basically, you can cast Hex without expending a spell slot.
I can't tell if you were being facetious or what. I think this is the worst level 18 ability any class has had so far in any of these playtests so far, period.
It's casting Hex for free.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it probably should be a much lower level, but it's, you're casting Hex for free.
This, at the very minimum, at level 18, should be like a
maybe
reaction to starting combat.
Maybe this should be like the level 7 feature.
Even then, dude, this feels like it was balanced back when they used pack magic and only got 2 slots a day. Then, made sense. At this level, actually, hold on, let me look this up. At this level, you've got 14 prepared spells and 14 spell slots. Oh, but don't worry. You're going to save on one of those spell slots for free.
It's like I have 15 now because I'm going to cast Hex.
Uh-huh.
So it's like I've got 15 spell slots.
But you still got to cast it.
Yeah, but it doesn't cost anything.
You're right.
Yeah. This is a win.
Woohoo.
This is a win in my book.
This should be automatically cast as just a thing that happens on the first person you hit or the first person you choose in combat or what, and then transfer for free or all the above. and not cost a spell slot. Because at this point, 18th level, Hex is part of your turn. It's part of your damage cycle. Like, this is just something you do every round, like you said. But, oh, cool. 18th level, I don't have to expend a first level spell slot. This is dumb.
So it sounds like you're not so hip on the revisions to Warlock.
This needs a huge... No, overall, across the board, I very high on this class. I like it a whole lot. Why the heck is level 18 just give you a free level 1 spell?
It's free.
Who cares?
All right, fine.
You're throwing away level 1 slots.
I know
you are still
what you're putting in the survey
now.
You
are still, even with all the new spell slots, a cantrip machine. You are machine gunning Eldritch Blast every chance you get. Yet, your level 1 spell, don't worry. We got you.
We got you covered. Daddy's got you covered.
That's, oh, God.
If you want to complain about it, you got contact other plane at level 11. So you can call.
I'm going to be contacting Watsy on this survey.
You can call the other plane and ask them why this is a level 18.
I can't wait for J. Craw to hop up on this thing with Todd Kendrick and be like, don't worry, we've heard you. Yes, you guys were right. This was an ability for Pact Magic version of Warlock. It somehow slipped through the cracks.
No, I'm giving it a thumbs up. They're going to be all like, "This. We had really glowing reviews for the level 18 skill."
If they're like, you know what, it was a 49-51 split, and you were the deciding factor that pushed it over the edge.
If I'm that 1%, there were still 50 others.
Yeah, that you convinced. Not that it's a big deal, but Eldritch Master has been removed since it was part of Pact Magic. And then, like Richard mentioned, Epic Boon, level 20, everybody gets these things. Now, all the way back to level 1, one of the big things that we actually didn't bring up was that your casting modifier, depending on which pact you choose, and this is huge, because it was previously Charisma in the 2014 PHB. Now you choose, depending on the pact, Intelligence, Charisma, or Wisdom. This is amazing, because this lets you choose what kind of character you're going to be. Are you intelligent? Are you very charismatic? Are you wise? Are you not very charismatic, but you're so dang cute, everybody just falls for you anyway, so you have a high charisma. There's so much flavor you can put into these, actually having a choice now. I love this.
Yeah, I like it. I'm always for having more choices for flavor and presentation. Just
the fact that you can have another intelligence caster instead of wizard and artificer, which, does artificer even count? Like, now, just out of the base PHB, we're looking at a potential new intelligence caster. I really like this. And this gives flavor options to who your patron's going to be and what they provide to you, or what you're searching for in this world.
Yeah.
Are you searching for knowledge? And that's why this is your thing?
Yeah, that's why you're going with intelligence or wisdom.
I think back to Cthulhu from the C-Team days. Accidents Incorporated. And was he Warlock with charisma? Yeah.
Was he charismatic?
No, he was the least charismatic person ever created.
He was negative in charisma, really.
But, like, his intelligence is amazing. He could have been an intelligence caster.
Yeah.
This feels so much more natural.
Yeah, that would have really changed Cthulhu. I think it would have made more sense.
I don't think it would have changed anything.
Well, Cthulhu,
but it would have made more sense.
It would have made more sense.
Yes, yeah. I agree. Mechanically.
Yes.
Now, what is interesting to me is that your spell slots, you get up to 5th level. Makes them feel like half-casters to me. You're getting a bunch of spell slots. And a lot of prepared spells, 15 or whatever, but like up to 5th level. It's interesting.
Yeah, I get the fact that it does kind of feel like they're half-casters. But overall, I think these are very positive steps for Warlocks in general. I think this is a really good direction for them.
I think all I need at this point, I'll take them, I understand they're cantrip masters, etc. Give them a D10 hit die, you cowards. Step away from the D8. Put a D10 on the floor. Kick it over to the Warlock. Allow them to pick it up and put it into their health pool. They deserve it. It needs to happen.
It's not going to happen.
If you want these characters to feel more like melee characters as spell slingers, they need more vitality.
You're going to have to put that in the special notes section
Oh, I will.
of feedback.
It's going in there for sure. Now, the wizard.
Wizards!
At the dawn of time, it is said that man had not been created. Only dinosaurs roam this earth. One morning, a stegosaurus walked over a hill nearby his home. And what did he see, Richard?
I don't know where this is going. A wizard?
No.
Oh, I'm wrong.
He saw a
wizard
pterodactyl.
tower. Oh, sorry.
A pterodactyl was in a grand fight with a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Now, who was winning this fight?
Between a pterodactyl and a Tyrannosaurus Rex?
The pterodactyl
I mean,
was winning, you're right.
My money's on the pterodactyl.
It was.
Okay.
Indeed.
It's good.
Now,
T-Rex has got tiny arms.
But
He
why?
can't do anything. He can't even swat him away or anything.
why
Because of the
did
tiny hands. That's why I already said that. The pterodactyl's got the high ground. I've seen Star Wars. He can't win, Terry.
the pterodactyl won? And this wasn't discussed most of our childhood through science and what we've learned through technology. But what the pterodactyl had that the Tyrannosaurus did not have was spell slots. It doesn't show in their bones. But the pterodactyl was the world's first wizard. So you're not incorrect earlier when you said he saw a wizard.
Yeah, he saw a wizard. I was right.
But he did not know.
It was the
He was
pointy
a
hat
wizard.
that gave it away.
He did have a pointy hat. So all of that was to say that spellcasting allows you to use your spellbook as your spellcasting focus.
Yeah, that tracks. With the pterodactyls and the fighting a Tyrannosaurus Rex. I think you mentioned a spell book somewhere in there.
Now, the spellbook is part of the first level feature. It consolidates your spellbook rules into one little place. In addition, this feature gives you a wizard-only spell called Scribe's Spell.
So yeah, Scribe's Spell is a first level transmutation spell. It takes 2 hours and basically allows the wizard to scribe a spell. So it allows you to put that spell into your book. So you must copy this from another spell book or a spell scroll, or you must have it prepared. You copy it down from the spell scroll. The scroll is destroyed. If you have it prepared, the casting time and component costs are halved. So that's good. And basically when the scribing is complete, the spell becomes part of your known spells in the book. So it appears on its own page like magic in the book, and you just have it now. So that's really good. And you get that at first level. Additionally, that spell, it appears in a cipher that is only understandable by you or someone casting Identify or Scribe Spell again. So, Yep.
Neat.
Academic is the new second level feature, which gives you advantage on intelligence checks when using the study action. So this is that weird action thing that we talked about a couple UAs ago. So one of the things that you can do is take the study action. So if you take the study action, you now get advantage on an intelligence check. So that means that if I'm, the DM is, giving us some free time, I want to go to the library or my personal library, and I want to study up on a subject. You're going to ask me to make an intelligence check. I get advantage now.
Now, Arcane Recovery has been moved from first level to second level, so you're going to have to wait a whole, probably one session, depending on the DM. Maybe a couple if you're a DM like me. Before you get this. So tough for you wizards out there.
Memorize spell is a new 5th level feature, which I think is pretty neat, actually. It basically is a hot swap of 2 different spells.
Yeah, how's that work?
Yeah, so basically, in your research, you have unlocked the ability to cast Memorize Spell, which basically allows you to take 2 different spells that are in your spell list and switch them.
Right.
So you are casting this. You are taking up a spell slot.
Yeah.
But in the...
So it's not just a 5th level feature.
This is a spell that you're casting. Yep, and it's a 3rd level divination spell. So it's an interesting concept because it essentially allows you to kind of adjust your kit on the fly.
Yeah,
at the cost of a 3rd level spell,
but expending spell slots while doing it.
Exactly. So you are expending that spell slot, but it's giving you that versatility of being able to be like, oh crap, I didn't properly prepare for this particular event.
I don't have spider climb
here. Yeah, and we need it. It's going to essentially cost me 2 spell slots to cast it, but is it worth it in that instance? And a lot of times, it very well could be.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's just another way that kind of like Wizards showcase their, I guess you'd say, versatility when it comes to spells.
Sure.
Yeah.
Modify spell. 7th level feature. It is a spell that allows you to change how a particular spell works. Now you're changing, potentially what components or concentration, whether that's needed, its damage type, what its range is it a ritual? How many people can you target?
Yeah, this is insane.
This might be the craziest thing the Wizards get in this revision.
This is one of the, I think, my favorite things that I have seen in a UA thus far. Because I love spellcasters in general, and Modify Spell is just so unique. It only takes a minute to cast it. It is a 4th level spell, but like you said, it allows you to change one of the aspects of this spell. So the components that you require, that's huge. You can change those components. If if a spell requires concentration, you can change that to where damage isn't going to break your concentration. That's huge. Damage type, range, whether or not it's a ritual spell, the amount of targets that it can affect. This is just all like really, really, really cool. And when you cast this to modify that spell, it lasts until, you finish a long rest. So the altered version, will last that long. It's just really, really cool to be able to, again, have that versatility. So just like being able to hot swap spells with Memorize Spell, now you're taking it a step further. So not only can I hot swap out my spells to make my kit fit for the adventure that we're on, I can just modify a current spell to make sure that it fits the adventure that we're on. And that's just super, super neat. And going along with that, at 9th level, we get Create Spell, which just goes right along with Modify Spell. So now you can take that modified spell that you did. So you cast a unique version of a spell that is no longer concentration. And now I can create that spell, and I put it in my spell book. And it's now my new spell, and I get to name it what I want. So now we're back in with Wizards being the controllers of what they do. So you're making this new spell, you're naming this new spell, you're making it part of your normal kit now. So if you do something and you're all like, wow, that was a really great use of that spell, I think I want to keep it.
Yeah.
And then you get to keep it. So Create Spell and Modify Spell, 2 of my favorite things that have hit a UA, and I really hope they don't take these away. I really hope they don't. And I don't think they're going to. I don't think they're so overpowered that they're going to have to rein it in so far. We don't know, but I really hope they don't, because I love this. These 2 new features. I don't know what you think about them.
No, I love it. I just imagine, like, who isn't going to take a spell like Counterspell and remove, one of the components so that it's if your opponent doesn't know you're casting Counterspell, they can't counterspell your Counterspell.
Yeah.
And if you can just have Richard's Ravenous, really cool Counterspell, like, in your back pocket, that's going to be the one you use.
Yeah, it's going to be the one that you're going to use.
Like,
and the very fact that all this happens at, like, level 9.
Yeah.
So we're not even talking like level 20 end game here where you're making your new spells. No, you're making new spells at level 9.
Right. Yeah. This is what the Wizard needed to really set itself apart. Not as I'm just utility. I have a large amount of spells. Now that Sorcerer and, other people have been brought up to have more spell slots. This is, hey, I'm a wizard. I'm an academic. I can make spells.
I'm making magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And this is super cool. Like, you got some downtime for a couple of days while you're in the port city, while the boat's getting set up. What do you guys want to do? And the rogue's like, I'm going to go shopping for some, some poisons.
air quotes,
and some
shopping.
rope. And the wizard's all like, yeah, I just made some new spells. It's no big deal. I can cast counterspell and you don't even know I just cast it. You didn't even see it, did you?
You see me do it again?
I can do it again. I did it again. Did you see that? Yeah.
It's neat because even though, in theory you're not crafting these spells from scratch per se, who says that Fireball is already perfect? What if we bumped up that range?
We can make it
even
better,
farther,
faster, stronger.
Yeah, this is great.
Nah, I love it.
I just want my Fireball to be purple. I've done it.
That's an upgrade.
That's absolutely.
No matter how you shake it, that's an upgrade.
Or, oh my gosh, change the damage type.
Yeah.
There's all these like little things you can do. Wow, or just taking spells that don't have the ritual tag and giving it that. Now you're casting the spells for 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Instead of a high level spell slot?
High level spell. I'm just gonna hit somebody with a fireball, and then I'm like, oh yeah, that's acid damage, by the way.
30 times your wizard level. Increase it by that. So,
oh yeah, you make a spell snipe.
10, you're adding another 30. Yeah, there's some crazy stuff to this, man. I really like this.
Yeah, it's endless amounts of fun. And I now regret that I'm not playing a wizard in the latest campaign.
Damage can't break your concentration. Well, it just means that you're going to be wizard on the next campaign.
Yeah, that just means I have to be a wizard in the next game. Like,
wow.
Yeah, I'm going to have to play a wizard because
I can't wait.
I want to make my own spells.
Wow. Just remember, in the homebrew campaign that I've planned for after we finish Strahd, magic doesn't exist.
That's because I haven't made it yet.
Hey! Now, moving from 18th all the way down to 15th level, you're getting spell mastery.
Yep, so that has moved again to lower levels. Again, that, whole power change off like we were talking about. Same thing happened with signature spells that moved from level 20 to level 18. Mm-hmm. Again, to make way for the epic boons and, like we said before, kind of equalizing the power to the center. Yep.
Squeezing an epic boon right there, level 20, pushing everything down.
So yeah, sorcerers, warlocks, wizards, a lot of big changes. I know that I like most of these changes here. I already liked warlocks before.
It's too bad they ruined them.
But now I really want to play a wizard or a sorcerer. I already kind of liked sorcerers before. Wizards, I never wanted to play a wizard. I was never looking at wizards and like, I'm going to make a wizard. Now they've sold me. I want to be a wizard.
My thoughts top level on this UA are, it has solidified the fact that I don't want to ever play a sorcerer. Not that sorcerers are bad. It's just not for me. This is above artificer, but below everything else. Now, warlocks are really freaking good. I love these changes. It's too bad the 18th level feature ruins the whole class. They need to change that so I can, actually play this, because it's going to be a great time. Wizards. I've wanted to play wizard for a while now, and this has, I feel like, to me, just made me want to play it more. It feels like improvements.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm missing something. Man, this feels like improvements across the board.
Well, Conan Deitch de Luton Finden. I don't know what that means. Tyler wrote it. It's in German. Wait, Harkonnens. Isn't that... that's from Dune.
But that's going to do it for us today. In the meantime, I've been Tyler.
And I've been Richard.
And we've been True Strike.
That was like the most instant we've ever True Strike.
Hey, adventurers. Thanks again for joining us today. Please be sure to give us a follow on your favorite podcasting platforms and YouTube. If there's any questions you'd like to write into the show, you can hit us up on Twitter or Instagram. New episodes release every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for listening to True Strike. Sorry. We should do a caveman dance.
We're on time now.
Oh God.